So, guys and girls, despite my channel is so tiny, I've already been accused of all kind of things that are basically mutually self-excluding, unless I am a double or triple agent. So I've been accused of being Russian agent, I've been accused of being SBU agent. SBU, by the way, it's a special service of Ukraine. It's kind of intelligence or counterintelligence service. And I've been accused of being Western agent, of course, as well, or gay European agent, like Russians like to say. And I decided to make a video to dive into these possibilities, and let's think, which agent am I? And let's start with the possibility of me being a Russian agent. Mostly I'm accused of being Russian agent by Ukrainian men and probably sometimes even Western guys. Why am I accused at all? I perfectly understand why. Because my view on the Russian-Ukrainian war is not aligned with the mainstream Western narrative about it. Which basically the mainstream narrative is that West should keep on supporting Ukraine by sending more weapons, by keeping on this war machine going, and helping Ukraine to resist more and more. I'm not supporting this narrative because, well, later I will again remind you why exactly. But here I want to clarify. People think that if I am not aligned with this main narrative, then of course I can be a representative of the troll kind of, you know, these paid trolls or paid, I don't know, bloggers, paid commenters who are promoting Putin's narrative. So if I'm not thinking the same way as the Western main media, that means I love Putin, or I'm paid by him and the Russian government, and that I am a super fan of the political regime in Russia. So I want to clarify this super clearly. I absolutely don't support Putin. I never supported him politically, actually, since he was in the power. I was always leaning toward the opposition. And if you want to know my political stance, since like a few years, I am very heavily, how it's called in English, izquierdas in Spanish, so leftist, of course. I'm radical leftist, you would say. I'm into Marxism, indeed. I started watching YouTube channels about economy. That was my kind of hobby or interest a few years ago. First I was listening to the mainstream economists, the capitalist ones, and then I switched to, I found one channel, it's a Russian channel indeed, it's called Простые числа. I think they had also English version, but it was poorly done. It just had subs, but they were speaking Russian. And this channel were done by academics, by scientists, economists, who were developing Marxist theories, neo-Marxist theories, and communism. So I really got hooked on that, and you can call me very far left leaning person. So knowing that, you can perfectly understand I absolutely don't support Putin. I don't like him. I don't like the political structure and economic structure in Russia. All right? So hope that's clear. But I don't support Zelensky regime either. I absolutely dislike what's going on in Ukraine as well. Because Ukraine is not better in these regards than Russia in none of the aspects. And right now, indeed, actually, it got even worse. So, the first point is cleared. Now let's go back to the war question again. I want to make it super clear. I don't support the war. And I have the eyes and the brain to see the real power and resources distribution between Ukraine and Russia. And unless the Western countries, NATO, would participate directly in the war on the side of Ukraine, Russia will eventually win this war, little by little. That is the only inevitable outcome. And prolonging this, dragging this war even more by sending more weapons, only prolonging the death. It brings more suffering and more death. And the end is inevitably the same. Hoping for the miracle is very, very poor excuse to keep on doing this. So unless West is really jumping into the war, and then it creates even more huge problems and risks for us, the third world war and nuclear war, and we all are going to be fucking doomed. Unless you want this scenario, Russia will eventually win. So keep on supporting Ukraine by sending weapons and killing their own people, by the way, indirectly this way. That's making a huge disservice. Despite how much hate you can have to Putin or to Russia, whatever, rational thinking should make any person see that this is evil, keeping on supporting this. You might dislike it, you might hate it, you might morally be on the side of Ukraine, but if you are a smart person, you would understand that keeping on trying to do this war machine, keeping on going, hoping for the miracle that Putin just stops, well, you are doing evil. And I especially bitterly laugh at some Western dudes who advocating for sending more and more weapons to Ukraine because, first of all, it's not you who are going to use these weapons and die there, right? And second, there is a forceful conscription in Ukraine. People, young guys, are literally cut off the streets when they are walking to buy groceries. And I know people who are hiding their sons and their boyfriends so that they are not caught into this war horrible machine. And some of these guys have not gone out of their flats for already a couple of years or more than a year. How do you like this? Do you support this shit? If you support it, then just go and fight for your ideals with something heavier than a keyboard. And if you are not ready, then shut the fuck up. And the last word about the war. I'm against the war, but I am for people. And I will tell you something, that there are heroes, real heroes, from both sides of the conflict. People who truly believe that they are fighting for all the right causes. These people are absolutely normal. None of them are evil. It's people who believe in the narratives from their own countries. And it's tragic that these heroes are dying so senselessly for the interests that I believe are the interests of capitalists, oligarchs, politicians, that are not interests of us average folks. And of course there are many, many more people who would prefer never fight there and never be caught between these fires, but the circumstances are unfortunate and they have to suffer. And I wish this suffering to end as soon as possible. Now, let's talk about why at the same time I am accused of being SBU or Western globalist agent, mostly by Russian guys and sometimes even the Western guys who somehow support Russia in this conflict. So it's that people who somewhat share my view on the conflict, or at least partially, because a lot of these people fully support Russian side. In my case, you already understand that it's very nuanced. I'm not supporting Russian side or Ukrainian side. It's deeper than that. So still, people who somewhat not sharing the main Western narrative, they are often, not all of them, but often very traditional dudes, so not very typical Western guys, more into the kind of patriarchal mindset, or somewhat, or wanting to be to have this patriarchal mindset, and they want to have in the West same way of life like Russia right now has, because a lot of them admiring Russia and they think that the way things are done there, the way people live in there, it's great. And well, a lot of things in Russia are good actually, I'm not going to lie, but not the ones that I'm going to discuss right now. So they dream to have in the West same things, same traditional patriarchal things like Russia has. And I'm absolutely not into that. So that's why they accuse me of being SBU or Western globalist agent as well, because I absolutely don't like patriarchal system. I'm feminist. I support tolerance. I have progressive values. All of these kind of things. Also, I am absolutely not a religious person. And I know that in USA still there are some states that are very, very religious, like for real religious. And well, what can I say? In my case, I can't help myself, but my brows are trying to fly away when I hear that someone is truly deeply religious in the 21st century. Don't take it as an insult, please, people who are religious. So yeah, that's why I'm also accused of being Western agent as well. Because of course, if I'm feminist and I support inclusive culture, someone probably paying me for promoting this kind of values. And yeah, no one pays me to say whatever the hell I'm saying, because, well, I'm lucky enough to have this channel just as my little hobby, where I can say whatever the hell I want and whatever the hell I feel. And also, I want to say thank you guys. I appreciate you a lot for sticking around, for showing interest, because yeah, I'm doing this not only for myself, of course I'm doing it for you, for those who feel somewhat interested in this, and I welcome you coming back anytime. Leave your comments, whatever you want. It's always very interesting for me to read them, even when you disagree and disagree harshly, and especially when you disagree harshly. So please feel free to comment, and I'll see you in the next video.